An honor for me to be here once again. And once again, bonke abantu abakhona ngaphakathi endlini basondele sizoqala ke iprogram yethu namhlanje by welcoming amantombazane lawa engizo announce njengamanje baqhamuka lapha efoleni. They have an incredible maskandi band abazo qala basikhonze ke namhlanje kuseni. I'd like us to welcome to the stage at this point in time izingane zika Kiss mantombazane. Shayile izandla.
Sanibona abase stage ingane ka Kiss mantombazane suka phansi efolweni lembumbulu njengamanje sizoqala ngengoma usasiyodlala ingoma
wenza imicimbi kanje kumnandi ke uma ngabe abantu uma wenza into enhle kanje bazokwazi ukuthi bakurecognize ngoba ikinto emhlungu njengokuthi ucule kungabi khona umuntu ozokubona ukuthi khona into oyiphethe ngakho siyabonga manje sesizodlala ingoma entsha brand new from the box ikona ukuthi bingakaphumi kwamanje ngoba bese ayifaka ima-online stores kodwa nje nilindele namhlanje izolunga kusasa nje ngiyacabanga ukuthi kusasa yonke into izobe isinje ingoma ithi ubaba wayengondla le ngoma ikhuluma ngobaba bey'ngane zethu ngoba thina lesikhathi samanje obaba bey'ngane zethu abasondlela iy'ngane zethu so ngifuna ukuthi sibatsheleke namhlanje ozoyizwa namhlanje le ngoma uzohamba yoyidownload ufuna ukuthi uthi sithini sikhuluma ngabe impela bazozodla bethanda bengathandi Sicela ukubonga nje ukumisa nawo kama-sponsors sibonga ithuba enisiphe lona. Danko.
2024. Tanisha Zandla once again. My name is Kai. I'm Tetwa. I'll be hosting today's morning's proceedings. Azane for a great performance this morning. It's a privilege for us to be here and a wonderful honor. I'd like to welcome you guys once again. We know that this wonderful festival started in 2021, and our initiatives are Fananjenga that allow us to have platforms that allow us to showcase our talent, to showcase our products as now, and of course to showcase to the world what we're doing as KZN. And so namhlanje, I'd like us to really start off by appreciating and thanking the wonderful Department of Economic Development, Tourism, empowering this festival, especially Zandla, for making sure that this initiatives give platforms to artists that are all over KZN. I'd like to officially also welcome in our midst the ADDG of the wonderful department as well. It's the artists, it's the creatives, it's the musicians, it's all the people that have gathered here, it's the advocates, it's the people, it's the mental health practitioners, everybody that brings together, that comes together for things like this that make them possible. So Nani ngicela nishayele izandla for being here this morning. There's so much that's going to be happening over the next 3 days. We're going to be having breakout sessions. We're going to have panelists come. There's a brunch that's coming on later on, so please don't leave, because there'll be big conversations that are going to be happening in and around the creative space. Of course, we've got art walls, we've got exhibitions. As you can see, I went into a pop-up studio on my far right, which I'll try and record a little single, a little chorus in there later on namhlanje. So make sure that you utilize all these facilities because some of these things cost a lot of money, to be able to get spaces like this. And so just be inquisitive. Go ask questions. Find out who's doing what, where, how can you get help. I know that as one creative to another, I can shy creatives because we are in our shells all the time, and sometimes we struggle to try and ask for help. As a Bantu Bamnyama nje futhi, it's one of the things that we struggle with. We really struggle with asking for help. And so it's platforms like this that give us the access, that give us the opportunity to meet people that are decision makers in and within KZN, and also give us them. I want us to know that from on your left, my right, kunama studio nje Shilo, there is safe mental health counseling room. There is a Ngemuva exhibitions. Just knock on those doors. You've got full access to those places. You can be able to get, if you need a certain amount of help, you can ask for the guys that are doing the studio work, if you are a musician just like me, to get them to assist you. And of course, we've got all these wonderful... Thank you so much. You can take your seats once again. Ngendlela kade ningibuka ngayo beningbuka sengathi izocula yimina le national anthem. No. But you guys sound very nice. Tanisha Elizandla for Weekly National. Nice. At this point in time, before we get into all this conversation that's going to happen over the next couple of days, I'd like us to welcome stage for the purpose and the official welcome to this wonderful festival.
I would like to start by acknowledging the presence of however, I would like to acknowledge the chair of KUMISA, Dr. Lindiwe Gunene. Kwande ayeye. The A for advisory, the N for nurturing, the D for development. Ukona, amongst us, there's emerging creatives, there's established creatives. And to get advice as well from those that have walked this journey, so that we do not make the same mistakes that they did. Instead, we succeed in our endeavors. Development, we're all about developing your mindsets, your skills, and your capabilities so that you can achieve more. And I think I left out two important points with the advisory. Well, advisory as well. Njengoba sashilo ukhaya, we have financial workshops for you so that nikwazi uthi imali noma ibhizinisi yenu niphathe kanjani. We live in a turbulent world. We all have a whole lot of things going on around us. And therefore, we thought that it was also proper that we create a platform for your mental wellness. And as Kaya once again indicated, those are safe spaces because we want you to be the best that you can be. And if you aspire to be the best that you would like to be, you need to be mentally sound. So that's the other platform that we have for you. Then entrepreneurship. We want that out of these 3 days, that at least get some income from that. However, I also think that an event is not complete without day. So I thank you, and I will.
Another round of applause, guys, to Ms. Pupuma. Thank you so much once again for your Luma. Meanwhile, I've got suicidal thoughts. Meanwhile, I'm really struggling. I'm really struggling in my marriage. I'm struggling with my children. And I think before it took a final bazalwane. And I think we take our mental health very seriously. It's very important that whatever space that you find yourself in, let's be honest about it. There is no shame in struggle. There is absolutely no shame where there is. So let's use Lama platforms afana njengalawa so that we can continue a legacy. KZN Kwande has done two musical renditions here just to put into a program, just nje. This is part of the festival. I like that we were in the green room earlier on and we're discussing they don't know where to put all the musicians because there's so many of them. You know what I mean? And I love that because most of the time there's a lack of of musicians. And where are we going to put the other music? Where are we going to get space for them? So shout out to the Kwande Face for making sure that they create a platform for a lot of musicians. So throughout the day today, we're going to have a mirage of musicians that are going to come on this platform and really just give us, listen in, get inspired, you know, clap, be involved, you know, cheer, because some of the people, this is one of their first platforms this year, you know what I mean? And we can't take that for granted. So let's be an audience that's engaging, let's be an audience that's excited, so that we can encourage whoever comes onto this platform. So at this point in time, I'd like us to put our hands together and welcome to the stage a wonderful lady who has won Best Singer Award at the Inanda Youth Talent Awards, and of course has won Women in Substance Award. She's all the way from Inanda. Kasim Shaili Zanda, Usis Pinky, First Lady.
Cela sicule sonke sithi ngiyakuthanda moyo ngcwele moyo ngcwele moyo ngcwele ngiyakuthanda moyo ngcwele moyo ngcwele moyo ngcwele. Sanibonani njani? Yebo, igama lami nguPinky First Lady. Ngicula a bit of gospel and I'm an Afro-pop artist. Namhlanje ngizobe nginiculela 3 of my songs. The first song I'm going to be performing, it's called Angikholwa. It's dedicated to all the women out there who are being abused and children. I-message yaleli culo leli ukuthi if ubona ukuthi la uhleli khona akuhlaleki, you are being abused, kuhle ukuthi ushiye uJehova uhleze nawe, uNkulunkulu uhlezi nawe, akekho umuntu ongeke ukwazi ukuphila ngaphandle kwakhe. I hope you enjoy this song. Angikholwa ukuthi wena lona, angikholwa ukuthi ungenze njena, ngoba sasithembisene
winner of the Kwande Fest Rising Star, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to see who this year's Rising Star is going to be, if she can sing like that, I wonder who's going to top her this year. Because that means you're going to, guys, that woman can sing. Let me tell you now, that woman can sing. So one more time. If you want to see who's going to be crowned the 2024 Rising Star, please come through tonight at 5 p.m. till 10. It's going to be the open mic session, and they'll be crowning 2024's winner. And so if you're a lover of live music, please, absolutely fantastic. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, Dorotela or Sislindiwe Kunene.
Representatives. We've got within the space members of the music industry, different stakeholders who've come at Kwande Fest, what we call the Kumisa branch. The Kumisa music branch has been around for a number of years, but it's the first time that we're bringing it. As soon as they stand, they dance. Art is essential to human expression. All of us who are here, who come from the creative, the arts are the heartbeat of our society. If there was no arts, we would not have survived COVID. We would not be ignored because it makes up who we are. In 2020, the creative industries in South Africa brought into the economy. We have been mandated with rebuilding or restructuring the infrastructure in KZN, making sure the and governance are within the different skills and the different duties that we have to fulfill. Why do we have to do this? Because the truth, what most people don't understand is that the music industry does not just begin with someone standing in front of you and singing, but it is about a whole value chain, and that's what we've been put in charge of. I was working with CMOs, getting people to understand what a CMO is, getting people to know what they're signing when they're in the province, requires that we work with government. It requires that we work with the private sector. It requires that we work within government with law regulating the music industry, and doesn't necessarily support the growth of the music industry. It is part of our duty as Kumisa to sit and work the fest, where it won't just be industry stakeholders. Usually our branch is where we find solutions, where we raise problems, and these problems end up being transferred into our strategy. It is a sharing moment. You're going to hear from industry leaders, and you get a chance to ask questions. Visit our studio. We have a little studio that we've put up.
Thank you so much, Doc. Kasimshali Zandla futhi Dokotela. Absolutely wonderful stuff. I'm actually, because we are it's for the last 10 years. Things, let me tell you a personal story. When I won Idols, my entertainment lawyer at the time fought with the channel, and they might sponsor us one of these days. We came through, so I won the competition that year, 2012. In 2013, I was able to get out of the contract. A 10-year contract, because why? Because I took the money in Idols. I didn't buy a big car. I bought myself out of the contract. There was a clause that enabled me so that I can own my intellectual property. So from Idols till now, I own everything I've produced and released. But you know why? Because I think, and I was willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. But that whatever it takes will cost you your kids. And will cost your family. The day when we bury you, what do you have to show for it? And today I'm proud to say that everything that I've released intellectually is under my own record label, Bright Idea Projects. And so I'm so honored to know that financial decisions and make intellectual decisions and make property. They'll be talking about the new music business. I love that, because there's a new music business that has started, that's happening. And if you're not that conversation, uzosala kakulu. They'll also be, they'll be discussing live, went on for about 2.5 years. going to LA, being here, working with people like Ubabulebo M, working like so many people that I've dreamed to be in the room with, I was in the room with. And one of the cult corner. And I don't want to go, I'm to be honest with you, oh, glory be to God, ngempela, but it's not good enough, you know. And so sometimes singasaba because we're in a room and got the agents and when you arrive in that room, bese uyatshela no salisuba uNkulunkulu bamba udanki, bamba idrink, nasi sinkwa, hamba ubona wenza njani. I could, you know, in that conversation, Bafethu, I almost earned in rands how people are so nasty in this industry. It's because they bebona ukuthi ayingifanele. Ayingifanele mina leyo nto aying-excite. So thank you once again to Kwande Fest for sessions like that. I want to welcome
because I don't do well when I talk. My name affected in my womb, embracing the scars on the love with the girl in the mirror, conflicted in my pain. Or if I would not be but taught, so I move, leave a lesson of hope, so I stay strong. In love with the girl in the mirror, girl in the mirror. In love with the girl in the mirror. Scars are, she's all in love with the girl in the mirror. The girl in the mirror. I'm in love with the girl. The girl in the mirror. Thank you. The next song I'm going to Army, translated My Money. Dedicated to everyone who's out there working for their money, especially the women. Yeah. Cause money makes the world go round. Check it out. Here we go, huh? It's him. Oh, wabanu kangezeli ndoda. Uhlale endlini ulinde yona. Phela kwenyanga kwaziwa uwe. Ngoba unesandla njena, futhi unengqondo njena. Baby girl, I'm about my own things. Ithuku sami, ngiyasebenza ngilasha ngihlali mina, sebenzela imali yami, yeah. Mali yami, okwabantu khangezeli. It's in my pain, go to the mall and you get, yeah. Money makes the world go round. Say, show me that money. I miss one job. Hey, clothes on my back, shoes on my feet. I got my hair and my nails did. Listen, oh, Himalaya, yeah. Himalaya. Sebenzeli mali yami. Oh, clothes on my back, shoes on my feet. I got my hair and my nails did. Mali dedicated to all the mothers. Abaswalayo, right? Lego nangezenzo. Okay, here we go. Tula, hosa, tula, tula. Ebunzime nuhlelo nami, kukho konke ulithemba lami. Tula, 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 tula. Mama,
2 days ago, the song comes on and tears come down my face, man. 2 days ago, literally. And I'm just like, "Nkosi ngiyabonga konke ongenzele kona." Now, if that song does not win award, kunenkinga la South Africa. Anyway, I'm just going to say it right now. Anyway, we're about to close off this. Brought their hearts through namhlanje. So before we close off and I do my final goodbyes. These breakaway rules of
You are going to learn namhlanje, all right? So into engizongisiza ngayo ukuthi nikhiphe ama-notebook, nikhiphe amapeni, take out your cell phones and open ama-notepad emafonini so that you can absorb everything that is going to be shared with you on this stage namhlanje, okay? We're also going to have some amazing live performances from amaciko ethu la KZN. Nazoke. I have a royal son on standby. He is going to serenade us. Please make a round of applause, make some noise for royal son. Please do plug each other. We do rise by lifting each other up.
Yeah. Kwande first, make some noise. Buffett in the right now.
Nasog. No more ngezandla ma eh. James's performances in the digital
Imdagani attorneys, as they've said. And I just came to chat to you guys a bit about, intellectual property. Basically, what is intellectual property? What is the right to reproduce the work? That is because that's your power to do those works. If you own the copyright, you can do that, and you can authorize others to do that, right? So the recording is actually the recording of the performance. Right? So whatever you're singing, it's the actual recording. Market where people, are self-recordings, they'll then own the recording. And then they, Abu Tugzin, how many are they? Which one of them has benefited from the streams of the other? Because you didn't name down. So please have a look out for that. But currently we are facing AI. AI is the new The Weeknd and Drake. The first you need to ask yourself, are being infringed when that happens, you know. Obviously the answer is a resounding no. Sometimes we have to look outside of IP, things like personality rights, you know. If you're copying my case about infringing personality rights based on voice, image and likeness, Ubasitsane Mahalmele, she's a very litigious lady, but what he then did, he started displaying the photo, the copyright amendment bill. I don't know if any of you know, our current copyright laws are being amended, which is a good thing in principle because the act is from opportunity for uncertainty. And uncertainty means court actions, means lawyers. And in a society like South Africa, people are not in a hurry, nor do they have written to the courts and instruct lawyers like myself, you know. So we need legislation that is clear and can be understood and adhered to legislation. So hopefully cooler heads will prevail and Ubab Cyril will maybe send the bills, that particular bill back because of the issues that we have identified. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much, Bongani. A number of important things being touched there. I hope now we all understand ukuthi ama copyrights awethu kufanele siwabambe as artists, recording and composition. How nathula manje mase kufundwa kanti njani asizameni futhi. The two important copyrights are recording and now we're getting somewhere. All right, thank you so much, Bongani. Also touching about artificial intelligence. I think into le ekufanele siyijwayeze yona kakhulu because we are in the digital era. We keep hearing about the fourth industrial revolution, and one of those things that come with it is artificial intelligence. So how it affects you as an artist is also very, very important for you to educate yourself on. Up next, I'm going to ask Mr. French to have a chat to us around live performances in the digital era. I think it's bonega cool during the COVID-19 pandemic, ukuthi isinkwa sama artist mangabe kufanele perform on stage silimale kakhulu because we now no longer have stages to perform on. Audience, how do you protect yourself in that regard? And that is what James is going to be speaking on. Over to you, James.
Sure, that's a big topic. I hope you're enjoying yourselves here today. I'd just like to say I'm here representing Concert South Africa. Concert South Africa is a project that has been running since 2013 and for the past decade has contributed a great deal to helping live music happen in the country. Deal with this as a matter of urgency. Started together the concert program. I'll start the presentation. I'll start the presentation in just the next up. What people were going to do with their time now that they couldn't manage their lives normally. And that's where we came up with the Digital Mobility Fund. And Digital Futures 2 was a project and a research project to get an idea of how good the impact online was on these musicians. Next slide, please. So, just to give you a sense, most of the people that we were talking to, and most of the people who were recipients, about 300 people, said that they'd already started live streaming. So it's not a new concept in South Africa, we knew about it. Next, for themselves as much as they could. Next slide, please. Who were the partners? Well, we did live stream, but it's a small number. So streaming is not a master of their recording, which is a very good sign, because those master rights now can go to them, and it becomes a value. About 2,500. The number of people who saw it online from streaming, you're going to have to be very strategic to see it as part of your marketing proposal. The streaming agencies, unless you go viral, either compensates artists fairly, or we will continue to be exploited by the international market. All right, it seems like my slides aren't going to come up, but I hope...
We all knew Uguti streaming services are actually
is what drove the creation of what we now call universal music. In our hip-hop sessions here in KZN, then later on became part of absorbing your content, you don't know who he's at.
By the music sector. Well, there's two sides to it. On the one end, by the music sector, well, there's two sides to it. On the one end, we have music, what links the two. How do you get from having your work of art and getting it to a point where it can be experienced by a group of people. So what we mean when we say actual musical work, the product that has been developed, and then we go into promoting and marketing it and distributing it, and then eventually it gets consumed. And what we need to do is kind of shift up. It's difficult to speak about economic development and extracting the revenue from products, something that is manufactured, right? How many units sold? What is the cost to produce something, right? But we're speaking about a musical work. We're speaking about a culture, an expression of who you are. And that also is there. The commodity is the actual license, the right to use your work. Because if that license doesn't exist, money will be made, but it won't. Establishing yourself within other industries or subsectors that are adjacent to the music sector. Just like we spoke about Kanye West and the Yeezys, like transitioning into the fashion space, becoming an actor, all of these other spaces and trademark who you are. Other businesses and other sectors can then easily place you and say, we need you because we want you to do ABC. And so they're your brand, and that's what you're selling. You're selling your brand. And then when we look into distribution, what are we distributing? We're distributing albums, and so that's what we're distributing, right? And then from a consumption point of view, we are consuming the music itself, so that could be, it could be a concert or an event where music is playing in the background, or it could be a movie, it could be, which is your brand. So they are in which we interface with content are becoming more.
To further elaborate on all of my fellow panelists, right? SAMRO basically stands for the Southern African Music Rights Organization, PROs, on a global scale. And like, just to further elaborate on the copyright part, right, as Ubongani was explaining, sir. Now, just to give you a little backstory about myself, I mean, I came into this industry wanting to learn how to make music, right? So I saw this course, and creativity in general, there's so much that goes into it, including licensing. But a lot of the times, most people just think, little did I know there's something called the music business, right? Which is quite huge. I mean, you hear stories about artists being ripped off, of the signing, only then going back and reading the contract, just to find out that, wow, I gave away 85% of all of my money, right? And unfortunately, that happens after a while of being signed to a specific label, and it's quite hard to come back from there because there's money that's been made, but unfortunately, you did sign on the dotted line. And I mean, if it's written in black and white, yeah, there's not much anybody can do. Even if you take it to a lawyer, I mean, there's only so much leverage or legal, what's called a needle time right or a related right, as well as a sound recording right, right? And yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of it, but the purpose of me, is to essentially elaborate on license, right? And this license is obtained from essentially contacting CMOs for those rights that I spoke about. So like SAMRO, we protect the performance right, but there's also the needle time right, as well as the mechanical right that comes into just one song, and you'll find that if you're, let's say, a self-produced composer who writes their own music, records themselves, even publishes or releases your own music, essentially, I mean, society or South Africa, we've been accustomed to know that you just get a royalty check. But that's not the case. There's actually 3 royalty checks that you'll be entitled to, and those all tie into those rights that I mentioned. And today I'll just be obviously elaborating on SAMRO's mission, as well as answering any questions that anybody has in the audience. And yeah, please feel free to ask us anything. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christopher. Such a wealth of information. You guys should have paid thousands of the amount of info that has been shared on this stage. And I'll get somebody to assist with a mic. In the meantime, I'd like to once again request ukuthi sehliseni amazwi ethu, especially if you're visiting any of the exhibitors in this space. And even if we are just outside, ngicela nibaalert ukuthi we can hear their voices if the volumes are a little bit high, and siyaphazamiseka nje kancane, ngicela sibekezelelane. If there's any question, there we go. Ngicela usizo with the mic. I will take the gentleman in the black, Kala. The lady in the white will be up next. And then there's a gentleman in the cap and the gentleman in the white shirt after that. Thank you.
Which one?
The gentleman in the, Nescope. Thank you. Ngizocela ukuthi mangabe uthatha mic, just introduce yourself briefly, and then usitshele ukuthi umbuzo wakho uqonde kubani uthini.
Yebo, sanibona. Igama lami nguVuwani Sibongo Waxulu, ngiphume eMaranhill. First of all, I would like to thank the sponsors, Komisa and the Department of Economic Development, and the panelists for such an informative segment. Having won the case against Ama restaurant groups of South Africa, when our agencies such as Samro, Capasso, Sampra, lodging a case against Santaco for using music, using the hands to woo customers, and I strongly believe that
it's known as background music. That speaks, now as he was referring to the recent case, that speaks more to background music, although there is some form of element of people on board. Specifically, with conferences like this, we're given a platform to actually educate more about copyright. And the biggest challenge that we have, with that being said, we do have strategies in place, and slowly but surely you'll start seeing a lot more progress as we go along.
Thank you so much, Christopher. Slowly but surely. Kuzolunga. For now, asijabulela ukuthi basasupport osomatekisi. Let me move on to your question.
I come from an organization called Capasso, but I just want to give kudos to the
enthusiasm.
This is more like of an engagement and more like of a learning experience for especially the artists.
Well, it's a communication thing. Stakeholders are making a noise, but what digestible way? So after saying mechanical, right, explain, good to know, massive mechanical, we actually mean when a CD is pressed or when a file is pressed from one format to another. I mean by that. And this thing with Samra, we say public performance. It's easy to confuse. You think, oh, do you mean like when I go on stage to perform, is it the fee that the promoter gives me? No, it's different to that. Where simplification is the best thing.
Okay, thank you. And my next question for you is, I believe you have experience both on from the label side and the publishing side. What rights can they expect to be protected, and what exactly should they be aware of, especially if they go around signing deals, not understanding what they are signing and what to expect from each of them when they have signed to all these different companies?
Yeah, the first thing I always say, and I'll go to my grave saying this, those two copyrights, once again, understand them. If you're dealing with a publisher, if a publisher is offering you a deal, obviously it's implicating now your composition rights. If you're dealing with a label, it's implicating your rights to the sound recording. You may or may not own a piece of the sound recording if you're signing to a label, right? And there's different things to look out for. From a publishing perspective, one thing I always warn artists or writers about, if we're going to be talking strictly, because composition is about writing, look out for the term, what the agreement says happens to your rights and your copyrights after the term ends. Sometimes the publishers put in clauses them for a certain period of time, in perpetuity. Like, why are you
really take heed of what you just said, especially because we know that as an artist, it's not like a normal employee who has provident fund or who has funeral, so royalties to like more on a 20% basis. And what we also see is that consumption of music now is highly digital. There's no CDs revenue in the streaming platforms. Thank you. That's my last question.
you're asking about some very complicated questions, because when you sign a contract with a company, they will tell you that you've signed the contract and therefore they will give you royalties based on their agreement with you. And from you talk about the increasing of streaming and streaming consumption, firstly I'd have to ask, are you talking about local consumption, or are you talking about the consumption of, and are you talking about the consumption of local content, or are you talking about just streaming broadly? Because we know that streaming of international content has always been a very high thing. We all watch YouTube, we see channels, and we listen to music from international artists more than we do South African artists. There are lots of options that we have in terms of improving the plight of South African artists. The one is the local content quotas that have been proposed. Matsunen tried the 90% and almost destroyed the industry because all of the sponsors left because they just didn't have enough content to fill it. The other side is that if we do put in content,
I'll negate that problem, because then you are creating country-specific or continent-specific terms and conditions and streaming revenue, if I can call it that, that would revenue that artists are getting from streaming platforms. So would us creating our own streaming platform as South Africa, as Africa, not somewhat solve the problem?
it is challenging because of revenue. We have another question, but it is challenging in that question because you're competing with an international series of superpower type institutions. You're talking about Spotify, which is Google. You're talking about Apple Music, and they are internationally accepted. It's often about $100. How much are you paying for music versus paying the cheap fee for Spotify? What Spotify gives you, and you remember these ability fee, it's going to be
crying to the media and crying to the social media. Coming to my house to create with 8 per hour to say I'm working in your studio so that when the song starts making money, you can recoup, and then we can negotiate a fair percentage split between you and me in perpetuity or whatever, you know. So in the TV film and the music space. Back in the days. If you think about it, shows like Yuzu, they'll have soundtrack albums and feature so many artists. And there was a beautiful relationship because it will expose the show, also expose the artist, giving them a platform and stuff. And we seldom see that thing happening currently. To a point where there's a song by Uloyiso, titled Speak, I think, that made news because it was featured in America, one of the American TV series, and it became phenomenal in South Africa. Oh, wow, there's a song, seldom do that. I just want to find out, how did we get to this position where the relationship like no longer exists the way it used to? Is it because of the laws that are in place, or is it just a matter of artists not availing themselves in that space of film and understanding how to monetize that industry?
All right. So, having licensed a few songs to films myself, what I have been told is that when the production companies want to cut budgets, the first thing they start with is music. That's the first thing. There was a specific show on Showmax, I'm not going to say the name, but it was very popular. And one of the guys used, I think they got someone to act as a music supervisor. And he used a song that was owned by the label publisher I was working, that there is still music on shows like How to Get Away with Christmas? What is it called? How to Ruin Christmas. There's a lot of music on there, and they do license and whatnot, but to use sometimes production music and not get the big commercial songs because money. Yeah.
Okay. This is just I'll say it's a comment. Okay. Being noise about the song of the year, the Maskandi kids will come in and then they will not get song of the year, and people are making
always in social media, and they try to break down the streams and they say, but their songs are making streams as much as whoever and stuff. That got me so curious to do the same thing in South Africa, but no one speaks about that. And no one is actually taking that as a study to say, let me study these guys and model what they're doing, because what is for sure about these guys is that they understand their audience. They very much know who is their audience and they know how to reach their audience. So it seems like most of us are in different genres, we're just waiting for the audience to come to us, as opposed to go to the audience and find the audience. Because if you think about it, you can't be a Maskandi cat in this age and be driving a $1 million car, a million rands car. How are you doing it? Because you're not on a streaming service. It's because you understand your audience, you go to your audience, you speak to the audience directly, to a point where they feel like they're part of you. Everything you do, I mean, look at the shows they're doing. They have almost Gandhi shows, and it's always packed. And people are fighting for tickets and things like that. But for other genres to even pack a stadium, they need to combine different people. They need to work for months and months and months just to sell the tickets. So I think the onus is on each and everyone who's an upcoming artist to take it upon themselves to study the Maskandi platform and see how they actually navigate throughout the muddy waters and how they make their money. Thank you.
Yeah, 100% I agree. I 100% agree with everything you said, but I just want to add something which might, interest everyone. Just because we are now going through a phase of your so-called streaming, it doesn't mean that vinyls are not growing in terms of, say, art. Let's call them digital artists, right? CDs are still selling, right? And remember, when you're selling music, you're not just selling audio, you're selling culture. So you spoke about concerts, you spoke about fashion. That's what a lot of people forget, and that's what we need to do to protect African music, protect the culture. And the internet is the biggest enemy in terms of having your culture being stolen. So who can protect the culture? The people that are exposed to how new media or digital media works and how people consume new media and how people actually engage in new media. So there needs to be a bridge between your digital artists and your traditional artists working together to protect the culture. Otherwise, right now, as a so-called Mapiano is going to be a Los Angeles sound. If we don't protect Maskandi, and Chinese artists is going to use the algorithm that they pick up from the music that you upload and going to have an Indian artist singing Maskandi.
The value of what he just said is that I'm really proud of those guys selling their CDs in the taxi ranks, because what they've realized as well is that their audience doesn't have access to data. What happened nationally here is that we improve our data supply, but even more so, they've found a solution. They've solved a problem and they're meeting their audience's needs, and that makes me really proud of them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sanbonani Gama Mhlanganisi Masokh. I wanted to ask the sector or the panel, has the sector thought about using the competition laws? Because you have these dominant companies who unilaterally set prices, if you stream with me, this is how, and they determine how you access that platform. Now, some of the laws currently, for instance, they would say, as a dominant company, you can't make decisions on your own, or you can't, set very low prices. Why hasn't the sector looked at the competition laws to actually challenge these dominant companies who then set very low prices? Because the competition law does that, not only in South Africa, but internationally. If people, Abu Albani, decide to sell bread expensively, the competition law says, no, you can't sell bread this expensive, or make it cheaper. So why hasn't the sector looked at the competition law? I know your main law is copyright, but the competition law is there to make sure that dominant companies don't abuse the weaker users. Thanks.
Give us an MCC, a Music Competition Commission.
We need to create our own Google. We need to create our own Facebook, like what she said earlier on, because you cannot dictate prices when your competitor can also offer an alternative at a cheaper price. My colleague mentioned that you have Pick and Pay, and Pick and Pay as a wholesaler, as a franchise, will dictate to the producers or to the farmers that this is what we can sell for your product, which is great. But when it comes to, remember this battle started with Steve Jobs when he created what we call, when just after the MP3 era, and Steve Jobs wanted to introduce iTunes, and he went to the recording industry and negotiated with the recording industry to say, wait a minute, I'm gonna give you this device, because that's what I'm selling as Steve Jobs, but I can help you distribute 3 million songs just from a device. So back to DTI must come into the picture. We need to start manufacturing our own devices so that we can sell our own music. We need to start creating our own apps so that we can sell our own music, because you cannot compete with people that have an infrastructure and you don't.
All right, I'll allow the follow-up, but I just need to make this an important note. We're chasing 3 o'clock at the moment, so it's 2 to 3. I'm going to allow the 2 last hands at the back. Thank you.
Thanks. We have WIPO. So although these bodies are international, the sector through those international agreements can make a dominance. With the Competition Act, Competition Commission, there was a grocery retail market inquiry which was investigating, for instance, the fact, why do we in a mall have Pick and Pay and Checkers only, but there's no other smaller grocery shop in the land, or if Pick and Pay is a Pick and Pay liquor, you can't open a bottle store in that mall. So that is now declared illegal. So it's possible. Thanks.
This Q&A session, we are going to receive another performance. So, mangabe sesiqedile ngisho ukuthi nyakazana. Chu.
Okay, sanibona, igama lami nguPhilani kaDlamini, ngibuya eMzimkhulu. Bengisacela nje ukuthi umbuzo bengiwubuza usesuphendulile. The question was mostly based to Mr. French, more especially about the social media and streaming of music. But I'm going to delve a challenge a bit and go to Mr. Nyamela. I know Mr. Nyamela is not on the panel from Kumisa, because this is hosted by Kumisa, I believe. Just the question was more on artists. I came here and saw artists which I've actually never seen before. Well, some I've heard of on mostly community radio stations and a bit of regional radio stations. I just wish, how can this actually, artists in South Africa, to actually break into, how can that actually be unlocked, whereby you see artists are provincially to actually go to national. When I talk about national, I talk about, because once you break to national, it's always important to go to there's Tobela FM, there's Lemutoding FM, there's SAPC One and all other media platforms as well. So I'm just asking, as part of helping artists. By the way, guys, you guys are doing such a great work for Pucham artists. How can that actually be unlocked by seeing local artists going for a national platform? Thank you.
I think you're asking a golden question there. If I had an answer for you, I'd have a lot of rich people around me and I'd be very rich. The truth is, a community radio station is the jumping point to be able to get your work out there. But there's this fine balance between exposure and success. And so you need to make sure that you're not just pushing yourself in terms of your music on radio, but helping your brand, as my colleague pointed out, that your brand is out there, that you're pushing an identity, and you're using every platform available. And this is why people are on TikTok. TikTok doesn't pay well at all, but they'll put a snippet there so that you'll thirst for more. And don't give everybody everything. Give people what they want to, just a little bit of what they want to hear, so that they'll pay for what you're offering. And then when it comes to gaining fame, gaining national and international acclaim, it's a very difficult question to answer. There's so many variables. Luck is a big part to play in that. But the recommendation is just to keep your face out there, keep networking, keep working with the people in your industry and do the best work you're doing so that you're proud of it. If you're proud of your work, other people can help push that pride forward.
Sure, I agree with that. We've got a respondent on the floor. Thank you so much.
Yes, no, thank you so much, Jobs. All right, but thank you so much for that accolade as well, and recognizing Ikumisa and its role in the space. So, look, a lot of artists, especially in KZN, when they actually put out their products, in their sense, there's probably something that says to them, everything is automatic. If I do my music and it's a hit, that song is bound. So do your research. It's a lot of work. And then once you've sorted your copyright, build your brand just like what James has just said. Build the brand. How do you build a brand? By building a team that is equipped the country and the continent, and perhaps even the globe, by giving them these skills personally. So please, go to the Kumisa stand, make appointments with us, and let us show you for free how you can do it.
Final question. I hope it's only one question. Eh? Okay, great. And then we're wrapping up this Q&A session so that we can get to the other parts of our program. Thank you.
Is it on?
Yes.
To make that clear. And as an underground artist, I publish my music mostly. Okay, this does not say mostly. I publish my music 100% on the internet, whether it's Spotify, it's Apple, whatever. You know, so my question is there really a reason for me as an underground artist who's not really looking to get on TV, to get in radio, who's just comfortable at this point with the internet? Is it really important to join people like Picasa, Samro, and Reza? Yeah, that's my question.
That's a good question. And the short answer is yes. And the reason why, right? As an underground artist, you probably have a niche following that is in a specific demographic. But who's to say what's not stopping a major artist? Yes, I'm getting there. So when it comes to, yes, you can publish it online, you have record, but at the end of the day, for you to get your money's worth, unfortunately, you have to go to court. And as you know, that costs a lot of money, which you might not have. So at the end of the day, the underdog ends up suffering based on the fact that they can't actually pay lawyers to represent them to be able to claim those specific songs as their own work. Right? That work is now protected, right, in the sense that SAMRO is mandated to look out for people like you, right? There is essentially things that are put in place to protect you as the songwriter, because you not only are protected in registering the song in your name, but you also have what's called a IPI number, which is essentially your identity number within this whole registration of works, right? And once you get to that level, you're now able to essentially prove that, listen, I registered this song in 2015 on the 4th of August, right? It's clearly there, it's public record. So your case becomes a lot more stronger to win in the sense of that. And adding to that, we as SAMRO, we can't collect royalties for you if your songs are not registered with a CMO or PRO. Number one, right? Number two, the most important part as a composer, creator, is not only to register the music, but also to let us know when your songs are performed, right? Because the biggest disconnect is musicians will think, okay, let me get on stage, perform, and I'm done, right? And SAMRO should know concert, we might not know that your song was playing. So I actually wanted to add that it's very important to actually report whenever you perform live to SAMRO. You can log on to the portal. There's a specific part there that says that you're obviously now notifying us that you performed at this place on this day for these songs. And as a result, we can now know what royalties or which songs should we pay you as a royalty. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's very important to register.
Thank you so much, Christopher.
Just to add to what my colleague is saying, I feel like, sorry, I forgot your name. I'm just going to refer to you as Mr. Underground Hip Hop. I think he's under the impression that Samro and Capeso don't collect from your Spotifys and whatnot. They do. Remember, we spoke about the 2 copyrights. Yes, from the sound recording, you're gonna get the money from the distributor themselves. You're probably only thinking about that money that comes from the distributor. But there's the composition as well, which Samro and Capeso will collect. They have licenses with the DSPs, your Spotifys and whatnot, to collect for you. So yes, you do have to register with Samro in them.
Thank you so much. Clearly, we can spend the entire day here speaking and engaging and learning about music. Kodwa-ke, I hope ukuthi sitting here namhlanje has given you at least one nugget to go home and think about, at least one thing to mull over on top around how you fit into the value chain of music as a business in the new digital age. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you to my panelists. Ngiyacela shame sibashayele izandla. Invaluable information here. All right, I'm sure izisu ziyakhala manje ziyakuruza. All right, I've got one quick announcement around lunch. There is a food truck that's available in Ngaphandle. There are chips for sale, there's burgers, konama toasty, so you can support the people outside and grab yourself some lunch. In the meantime, I do know that we have a poetry item that is on standby for us. So if Ukwazi Ndlangisa could please make their way on stage, we would be most grateful. Again, a warm round of applause for my panelists as they make their way off stage. Thank you so much, Bongani Mtagane, James French. Thank you, Mtia, Tulani Mbata. Thank you so much, Ayodel Morobi, as well as Christopher Smilani. You can take it away, Gwasebok.
Thank you so much. Sanbonani? Hello? Niyapila? Oh, that was much better. Sanbonani? Niyapila? Siyapila nathi. Niyayithanda poetry? Okay. Mhlambe nalabo babangumsindo ngale ibona bayangizwa mina ngibezwe ngokwanele kodwa mhlambe ngokuhamba kwesikhathi bazothi ukuhlisela kancane because umsindo wabo uyafikelela la kimi. I'll do 2 pieces of poetry. Gama lami ngokwazi wakwaNdlangisa uDuma uMthombeni. I wasn't expecting that, but thank you. Oh hey, nyathela minyaka. Nangempela wacathula nezithunzi zethu wayosithela. Usibona nje sesihamba sihlanganisa izingcezu zakho ezindongeni zemicabango. Sesibambelele kwesakuncela kucosi. Efika nesithombe sikagogo nathi belusi izukulwana sakhe sizungeze umlilo. Izinganekwane zisithatha zisibeka ezweni lakwamhlaba mumbe. Lapho kusala umzimba ngelithi emafini kusekhaya likamoya. Esiphelezela ngemlolozelo nxashana sithatha inyathuko ebheke komfuziselo wokufa. Lolu chungechunge ke olhlobe ngolwazi nobunyonico ligijima egazini kule mithambo. Isizukulwana sakwantu sikreza kwegwantsenge zaqheqhe. Siloku sihogela umkhondo womlando. Siqhwakela amagquma namathafa. Sibheke kwingomuso elingenazithembiso ngethemba lokuba sizoyibona phambili indlela. Ingakho ke esebayihamba lendlela bebeshumayela phezulu kwelithi mazibuye emasisweni. Nokho nathi belu sibone kukuhle sidle ngalo olidala ukhezo ngethemba lokuba okwaphilisa okhokho nokhokhokazi nathi kuyosiphilisa. Nangazo lezi zikhathi zokugcina sisabhadula kuyo indlela enameva kwaphika ingebhe. Yathi nxa singazivikela ngezimbadada isizukulwana ziyowafunda ziwathole kuziphi izinkalo amaloba wethu.
lenyathuko ingeyayizolo injalo nje ingeyanamhlanje lenyathuko ingeyamandulo injalo nje ingeyaphakade lenyathuko ingeyaminawe lenyathuko ingeyama-Afrika nxa ufuna ukuyithatha ungalibali ukwebuza leso sikhumba yebo sona sihle sinjalo nje siyakhazimula ingakho size sixhophe nawe uqobo nalapho sowubona luvindi ubozikhumbula uzikhumbuze ngokubuka inhlabathi hleze uzikhumbule nangempela nangomuso kusawusuku usangayibona ebheke ekhaya kini kuwe hleze lokhu odame ukucinga kulamagumbi amanye omhlaba wakuthola ungekalahleki nakweluqala awu yazi ngithi aningilalelanga ngiyangizwa siyabonga ngiyangithanda ukwenza izinkondlo nemilolozelo mhlambe bakhona abanye abazothi mangabe bewuza umlolozelo bawukhumbule mangabe kuukuthi uya resonate nawe uvela uhambe nami eziphosweni ndifunde ezingozini ndisinde ndizahamba amazwe eziphosweni ndifunde ezingozini ndisinde ndizahamba amazwe malimi pokwe ndikelele thetha nezinyanyu zikelele ndizahamba amazwe mama ndikulele tata namabalu ndifundele ndizahamba amazwe ngamazwe izigi zenhliziyo kamama imlolozelo yamihla namalanga ngezinyanga zobumnyama bosana namhla selwafika ezweni mama isifuba kuyoba ikhaya lemfudumalo hlezi ngebhi isikhumbuzo sezifunga engazenzi ukuze ngikhululwe ebumnyameni imigqa ezandleni inani lamakhono engawafuntshathiswa mhla ngisendleleni ebheke emhlabeni somandla ngicela ikhandlela ngihlahla indlela ebheke ekukhanyeni izwe lifa mihla namalanga kepha inyanga yaza luyivunule ngamakhambi kangisoze ngayeka amazimba aqedwe izinkumbi mama ngicela ukufulathela ikhaya kangikuhlamuki ngiyohle nge-Afrika ngiyohlomlisa abantu ngezithelo zesithombo wasifundisa ngenhlonipho nothando wasichelela ngolwazi hlezi kusasa lentsha liyoqhakaza njengonyezi imlolozelo kamama ingane ikhala ikhuleka kubaba iswele ingena baba ngivula iminyango ngena baba ngibuyisa ithemba bethi lalahleka bahleka kanti ilanda izimpendulo imlolozelo kamama ngivala amaphiko ngifukamele kwabonakala bengenamanxeba kanibophele ngaphakathi imlolozelo kamama ngihlabelela ingoma yabafazi abaqhokela entabeni beswele ecela imvula izinkomo kazibuyanga emadlelweni lomhlaba ugwadule ngiye ngakhumbula iziyalo engazibelethiswa mhla ikhaya lami ngilipha umhlane namhla usehlane ungalibali asikho isidumbu sethemba eziphosweni ndifunde ezingozini ndisinde ndizahamba amazwe kawubethi izandla ndisine xa kubethi insimbi yesine ndizahamba amazwe ngiyabonga kakhulu
ukube ngiyigagwa ngazi ngabe ngiyaxhenza noma ngabe ngiyawunyusa umlenze kancane manje hey 2 left feet thank you so much Kwazi thank you incredible talent I always love hearing inkondlo done in our African languages because I always get reminded of the richness of our languages as Abantu beautiful stuff every single year when Ikumisa hosts the music branch. We do something awesome, and that is honoring our local legends in the industry. I'm talking about abantu uma ngabe ukhuluma about the KZN music industry, ungeke ubaqede abantu that have played iqhaza elikhulu without mentioning certain names. And namhlanje we are going to do the exact same thing, and I'm going to ask on the MD of Ukumisa, Uthando Nyameni, to come on stage and further unpack ukuthi i-legend yanamhlanje i-worthy galiphi lona. Please give Uthando a warm round of applause.
Sanibona futhi. Yeah, so after a very important panel discussion, which I'm hoping ukuthi kukhona enikutholile kuyona. Just to understand that the music industry is not just for fun, for parties, or just entertainment, for cultural reason, but there's also an economic reason behind it. Families actually live, livelihoods, people bayaphila go music. So if music, irrespective of the space you are in, you're in the right place. But you must be prepared to evolve and move with the times, because every time times change, you must position yourself. Just like the recipient of this new award. He's been able to evolve, he's been able to move. But let me first explain what this award is. The Kumisa Award, this being the 7th award that we are giving away, is an award that was established to celebrate people who've been able to make a mark in the music industry. And not only that, but also been able to sustain themselves in this very complicated thing called the music industry. And how do you sustain yourself, we ask? By reading the room, seeing what changes are inevitable, because we are living in a society that is changing every single day. Technology is one of those changes. It celebrates people who are still relevant today, who say, I live on the stage, I will die on the stage. This is what this award is about. And I'm so thankful and grateful that we are finally celebrating a man who has asked for no one's help and said, I'm going to do it because of my passion and because of my talent and my abilities. Now, this is the 7th award. Who have we given this award to before? We've given it to Umama Dorothy Masuga, an icon. We've given it to Umama Abigail Kubeka. We have given it to Baba Undiko Kaba. We've been able to give it to Dorotela Ulindelani Mkhize. We've been able to give it to Dorotela Mandela Kunene. And lastly, we've been able to give it to Brother Clement, who is another unsung hero of Makoyana. Indigenous sounds. That's the one person that he's all about. Now we're about to give it to a guy called Sandy B. Come on, guys. For Sandy B, one hero who is certainly unsung. One hero who is unsung. And I taken my phone out because there were so many things I needed to read from it about him. I'm putting my phone back because I realized that I actually know this guy and I respect him because I've been following his career. And I'll tell you exactly why he fits in the same circles as those we've given this award to. First and foremost, 30 years ago, 1994, the first Kwaito album to come out of KZN was from Sandy B. You can give him a round of applause for that. This year is the 30th anniversary of his first album called Amajovi. But because Sandy B reads the room, he was able to say, okay, let me also see how I can help the KZN music industry to grow and transform. Then he realized that there were independent record labels that were coming up over the years. So he started his own music manufacturing company called Megastar. Now remember, Megastar was also being built in the hills of big white-owned organizations that are nationally placed, called, I think, CDT, CDB. CDT, that's where the Universals, the Warners, and all the big labels manufacture their music. Let me tell you right now, Afrotainment njengoba nibazi, baphuma la. Everyone's asihlangana namotira kanje eMegastar siyoprinta ama-CDs because this guy was doing that. He was so passionate that he would help everyone in the space. Touch Africa, West Inc., Afrotainment, and any other independent music person would actually be queuing up to have Usendi B print their CDs, manufacture those in a music business, in the artist, enabling and providing business opportunities for people within the space. But not only that, he read the room still. He saw that, okay, it's COVID time. In fact, we're living in a space of technology where things are done through technology. How do I reinvent myself? Then he started reading the room, trying to understand how can he further do or add to this long list of accolades that he's had. Then he started finding different markets. Now, how do you position yourself to be successful outside of KZN? He read the room and positioned himself to be successful, not outside of KZN, not outside of the country, South Africa, not outside of Africa, the continent, but outside altogether, in fact, across the globe. Because this guy has been touring Germany, Denmark, Russia, Italy, France. Ikhona abafengayibizanga nje kodwa ziningi ne? Eh? Have I counted all of them or there's more? So 36 countries. And the guy has booked and sold out shows every single year. Ungambona umuntu ehamba kanje umthathe kancane kanti he's ubisi kwenye indawo. So ngicela bafethu nathi let's learn from a legend like Usendi B. But lastly, in 2020, and as Usendi B esondela, and I'm going to invite my chairperson of the board, I'm sorry, I'm a hijacker, and I'm going to invite the deputy chair of the board because they will confer this award on him because I feel what it needs to go to the higher level. You can come up so long, Dr. Kunene and Mr. Kalinjan. And you are the one who are going to give this award to Usendi B. I just found out in 2020, Isilo Samabandla, King Goodwill's Wellington, because he had a passion for music, he went to Usendi B and said, Baba, because I've seen what you've been doing, I really want your assistance. Ngayithanda le nto music, can you help me? So Usendi B became the one person who safeguarded the king's love and passion for music, including the assets that the king produced out of that. So I feel like even that deserves a round of applause. So ladies and gentlemen, Yaz is Katele, but can you please rise with me as I invite Usendi B to come to the stage. I'm going to pass this on to you. You guys will confer it onto him. So officially, my brother, Usendi B, you are officially the 7th recipient of the Komisa Award, and it's a very prestigious award that has been held by people who are known as icons throughout the world. We love you, we celebrate you, and my brother, we see you. Usendi B. Can I be in one picture, please? Now, I'm not sure which part of the program, but I do know that Usendi B will give us a taste of a machovichovi. Are we okay with that? Asking is some of that 30-year flavor. You know how wine and whiskey mature nicely. He's going to give us that mature vibe. Why is he the first guy to ever win such an award? But, of course, one or two. Say, my brother.
Sanbonan tumelan mulani absent sobelani bonjour ni hao. Angisho usachaza konke Mr. Nyamin, you know, I'm so humbled. I don't know, I just don't know Kune-speech engasenza about 20 years ago about usuku olufana nalolu. I don't know what to say. Because mangabo ukuluma nge-story about uSandy B. My journey has never been easy. My journey has had a lot of ups and downs in the industry on the personal level. And also, yeah, before I forget, Mr. Nyameni, I didn't know you know me so much. You said everything that I actually wrote down, and I thought maybe I was going to deliver a speech here, which I have in my pocket. I don't know if I should deliver it. Do you have 2 minutes for me? Okay, thank you. Let me put this one down. I wrote something down for you. Let me see. Some of it I wrote it 20 years ago, and then I added a little bit of a few things. All right, okay. It goes something like this. There is time for everything. What is meant to be yours is meant to be yours. Okwakho, and no one will ever take that away from you. Yeah? So then I said, you have a reason to be on this planet, and once you have realized that reason, you won't even rush to do things, but you will choose your lane and go with your pace. 30 years since I released the very first Kwaito project in KZN, thanks to Mr. Le Ngobese. There he is. Stand up, Mr. Ngobese. Actually, this is the guy owangihlohla ngo-1994 sise-play house egwi Sarafina. Actually, Sasise City Hall, Adama Fokate was singing, and Kwaito music was very new in the whole of South Africa, and there was no one else doing it in KZN. And Mr. Ngobese would say, Sandy B Junior. I used to call myself Sandy B Junior because Junior sounded very nice, you know, Sandy B Junior, when I don't have senior. So anyway, so the aim was also to motivate other coming artists after Sandy B, that it's possible to do it even if you are in KZN, because back then there were no resources, there were no other artists doing the genre, there was just nothing going on. I was homeless at that time. I had been displaced by the political violence of back in the days, so I was just about everywhere. I left my home when I was 14 years, and I didn't know that Mr. Ngobese is going to make me the very first Kwaito artist in the province of KZN, coming from the gospel music background. All right. President. Okay, I gave hope to many artists like the Grammy Award winner, Uzex Bantwini used to be my dancer back in the days. Yeah, he danced, yeah, he used to perform, yeah. Yeah, and many other artists who came after me. When I DJ Socks again, Alana, Socks used to tell me what they used to skip my classes. This guy who was doing things, you know. Nango Socks. Am I lying, Socks? Yeah. They used to skip my classes by this guy who was trying to make things happen for the province of KZN when there was no one doing it back in the days. It was difficult, no resources, no money, and my journey has never been funded by anyone up until today. I was cheated. I was abused by the industry where you perform many times without pay, having managers who lie to us and say, you are promoter, Tolimal, and all those kind of things. But the love of what I do kept me going, and where I come from, my background also kept me going and made me the person that I think I am right now. So, then fast forward, I started a CD printing business in 2003 where I sacrificed my own career to help other artists. As he said, every artist that you can think of who is famous today had to come to make us stuff for services that were not even available in KZN. And this business started from no funding, and it was a matter of putting a cent on top of another cent. It started as a small office where I just had the dream. Papers on the wall, monitor ingenayo tower, up until it was something, a double story, where I ended up with over 5,000 CD masters by various artists abebenza umsebenzi lapha eMega Star. Okay? Sengiyaqeda ke manje. On my journey, I've collaborated with a lot of international artists recently. There was Freddie Jackson, rock with me tonight for all time's sake. You know that one? I'm the only one in the whole of Africa who's been on stage with Freddie Jackson. Shayeleni izandla leyo nto. Siyazana no Freddie Jackson. Unenamba yami Freddie Jackson sikhuluma nje. And many other international artists. And then recently I created a genre which is being talked about all over the world, where I collaborate with a lot of international artists in different countries where I've been to. It's called Pink Music. It's elements of quiet or South African music and other genres, dance music. Actually, this is what I'm actually doing when I go overseas. Okay, as I end this speech, I would like to thank Ikumisa and the whole team of Mr. Kalinjani, Dr. Gunene, and everybody else, Uguti Abangkumbule. Best joke lapana actually ikhona lento la ku speech sami nijoke ngayo, but ikhona ukuthi this is not about writing uSandy B off ukuthi hayi we're done with you. It's only the beginning, and ngibona ukuthi ngifresh kanjani isipantsulo ngishayayo. It's only the beginning. So I would like to invite every other artist, whatever help, whatever information that you need, because we go around the world, we're learning, opportunities, and people say, yeah, you're raising South African flag, but also, I'll have to mention it as Mr. Nyameni said it, Uguti. This is the first event as a KZN ever since I started in music career, with everything that has been said, and a logo, government was South Africa, and I now take a municipality, and invitee to give me this, and also to put in Kwazu staging performance. This is the first time. So this is to say, we are begazela Glenn. Keep yourself fit. Don't copy other superstars that you sing fake life here. I mean, I sell even my underwear to go overseas. No one funds Sandipe with you. Languages, culture, and everything, exchanging culture. No one funds that. I have never received a cent from anyone from the beginning of my career. From the beginning of my career, from the family or from whoever. So this is to say, wherever you are thinking that you failed, thinking that it's difficult, there's time for you. Superstars, but keep yourself fit, keep yourself, make yourself ready for that time to come for you, because it's going to come anytime. Also, as a creative, there's a lot of things that are going on around the world. The world is changing, so try and create content that speaks about the situation in the world. There's climate issues, there's wars going on around the world, things that we don't want. We have a beautiful country. We travel, we see, we have a beautiful country that you need to take care of. So when you create your craft, also consider that you have to take yourself to the future. So create a content that speaks good about your country, about yourself, keep yourself safe from everything else. More above all, love your country, love yourselves. You have a beautiful country, South Africa. You guys are very talented, and the world knows that. You just don't know it. They're looking for you. You don't have to be famous. They're looking for you, everybody. You stick to it, respect it, do it so well, and that time, the award, I will be here to witness one of you. Even if it happens in 50 years, I'll still be around. Thank you very much, guys.
Isandla somuntu okuphone book kaFreddie Jackson. Congratulations. Very, very well deserved. But also, I think Sandy B fanele usitshela iqiniso ukuthi over 20 years une six pack villages in. Njani babes? Le six pack leyo iyabonakala na such hayi. Recognition of Sandy B's efforts. I think it goes without it. I think it goes without saying, ukuthi he really is very, very well deserving. A very unassuming pioneer, kodwa ke very, very well deserving. And I hope sonke thola indlela ukuza ngale. All right? That is how you keep yourself in the business for years and years and years. And that's how you get multiple passport stamps in that green book of yours. And njengoba siqale with umkhuleko wengoma, sizovala with Deputy Chair weKumisa just giving us a vote of thanks and asazisa ukuthi mhlambe kusasa in the days that are coming, what can we look forward to at the Kwande Fest. Mr. Kalinjan, sawubona. Ngikhala kanjani, ngiyaphila. Please do come forward to wrap up usuku lwanamhlanje for us. Thank you so much. Awuhijack-wangwa yimina, ula ku-program, papa.
Thank you. Sanibonani. Kuyinkinga ukuba nomkhaba ngoba kuhlele uvela ungatshena izinto nje then ubizwe go last minute. I would like to take this opportunity ukubingelela everyone okhona and as ukumisa sijabulile kakhulu ukuthi nikwazi ukuthi niyamaciko nalabo bangewona amaciko kodwa abasebenzisana namaciko ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi benze isikhathi ukuthi bafike namhlanje. Thank you very much and we really appreciate you and your time. And to Usendi B, I think he had a very nice speech, especially for those of you guys that are young. You need to make sure ukuthi you listen to people like him, people who have traveled the world, you know. Some of you guys are under the impression maybe ukuthi someone will need to take you overseas, but you can actually take yourself overseas and make things happen. You know, there's a DJ, like if you look at how well he's done overseas, but we hardly even know him local. So the world is out, it's open, it's up to you and your craft. Thank you very much, siyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you. That's why I always like abantu abangazi ukuthi bakuma program. Bona bashesha ngempela bathi nqampu. Straight to the point. Ladies and gents, this brings sitting here to namhlanje courtesy of Kumisa to a close. Thank you so, so much. Hawu ngisakhuluma nenze njani manje? Ngisanivalelisa. Nginikeni ithuba. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us an ear. I hope kuningi enikufundile. Ningaze nibaleke niye kude kakhulu nje at 5 p.m. please be aware ukuthi the Rising Star competition is going to take place. All right? It's been an absolute pleasure being your facilitator for this afternoon. To the KwaZulu-Natal United Music Industry Association, thank you so much, Mr. Nyameni. Thank you so much for you guys being an active audience. All right? Asihlangane kusasa on Gaga CFM between 9 and 12. Khona sizo lift offer. Amen. Sandy B is coming up next with a fire performance. Khona nizobona ukuthi le Legends Award uyithole ngaliphi na. Ngiyacela nimshayele nezandla before nibaleka. Thank you so much.
So they're not going to... Two. Can it be folder? Is that in the stage? This was it. Chairs, can we remove chairs from the stage, please? Can we quickly remove chairs from the stage so that you can let, there are kids who have to go, their transport is going. So intro and stuff like that, but I need to... Okay, let's go. Let's go.
This is Mashudu reporting for TPP News, coming to you live from Los Angeles. We are broadcasting from the place where the Grammy Awards were supposed to have taken place. After receiving the news that Sandy B from South Africa has just released an album that reached platinum in a day, the well-known artists like Snoop Doggy Dogg, P. Diddy, Usher, and other unimportant ones fainted and had to be taken to hospital. And the Grammy had to be cancelled due to this unfortunate incident. It's also alleged that back in
People change, I'll never change. Life. Sure. Life. Unpredictable. People change, I'll never change. Life is so unpredictable, because people change, I'll never change. Why in films will never be a part. Give it to me, always, always. Always, give it to me right now. Give it to me. Always, always. Life is so predictable. What's on your back? Yeah. Shoot it up and down. Shoot it up and down. Down. Shoot it up and down. Shoot it up and down. Yeah, oh, yeah. Give it to me right now. Give it to me right now. Right now. Give it to me right now. Give it to me right now. Right now. Give it to me right now. Give it to me right now. Give it to me always. Cause people change, I'll never change. Tell him some dancala la. Son. Funa kube kuhle nje la uphinde. I'll take you all over. Yeah. To the places you've never seen before. Oh, yeah. Give it to me right now. Give it to me always. Cause people change, I'll never change. I'll take you all over. Yeah, I'll
take you all over, yeah. To the places you've never seen before. Oh, yeah. Give it to me right now. Give it to me right now. Right now. Give it to me right now. Give it to me always. Are you there? Are you there? Right now. Give it to me. Give it to me right now. Give it to me. Give it to me right now. Give it to me always. Give it to me. Oh, say that, yes. Right now. Give it to me right now. Give it to me right now. Right now. Give it to me right now. 'Cause people change. I'll never change. Here's a chance. You're all I have. Yeah. She would have done them there. Gospel, she doesn't know what's in the view, man. Okay, can you do this line? We're gonna dance until the morning, and then you go like, the time is now, alright? And then I say, enjoy yourself until the morning, and then you go like, let's make this moment last. We're gonna dance until the morning. The time, I'm here with my voice, voice in my face somewhere, via satellite. You're the first thing and the last thing on my mind. In your arms I feel, oh, your transport is here. Oh, I love you so much. Sunshine. Let's do it for one more time as we go out. We're gonna dance until the morning. The time is when? Oh, come on. Enjoy yourself until the morning. Come on. Let's make this moment last. We're gonna dance until the morning. The time is when? The time is up. Selena, man. Enjoy yourself until the morning. Let's make this moment last. We're gonna dance until the morning. The time is when? The time is now. Sure, come on. Enjoy yourself until the morning. Let's make this moment last. We're gonna dance until the morning. The time is when? The time is now. You gotta go with on. Enjoy yourself until the morning. Let's make this moment all the promise and daydream yet to come. Time is upon us, all but the night is young. Flowers blossom in the winter time. In your arms I feel a sunshine. Come on, we're gonna dance until the morning. The time is now. You're gonna lap. Enjoy yourself until the morning. Come on, let's make. You gotta go it on. Enjoy yourself until the morning. Come on, let's make this moment last for real. Royce and Murphy. It's got it going on, it's got it going on. What's up? Come on. Cancel la. Babonela abanye bangashiya transport kade beshe bathi hayi transport. Kusele thina ke manje vele bengenzele nina nje. Yowena nomcimbi lo. Kahle kahle bese kokhokhwa. Manje sekuyimangala ngoba ngenzela nina. All right. Let's go. I did this one in Belly on this car. What's up? Yazi mangadansi ndizovela ngiphathwe i-jaundice. Ngiphathwe i-arthritis. Vele isikhathi sesiyavuma. Nana mfaka Yes, come on. What's up? What's up? Sila badabata this Sila badabata this na Sila badabata duk chapula la. What's up? Feel sava. Oh, feel sava. Sila badabata this Sila badabata this na Sila badabata duk chapula. Oh, feel sava. Balloon is this. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Come on. That's all. You're going to control back. Oh, yeah. What's the case? I'm going to come on. Oh, feel sava. Shit. Kalishan. DJ songs. Sure. Come on. Feel sava. Yes, I'm not going to this is to be comfortable. Oh, feel sava. Sure. Come on. Ay, mama nawe. So chai vala. Oh, yeah, was not good. When I had what's up? Sure. This, I am on money Shanaja. Oh, very simple. How busy you ma? How busy you ma? Right here. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. Right here. Sure, come on. I'll tell you ram, squeeze it up, I'll tell you ram, now my ice. I'll tell you ram, squeeze it up, tell you ram, now my ice. See the pat, this, so nice. See the pat, la. Now you know it. My boss. Oh, yeah. Nambi. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure, come on. Come on. What's up? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure, instead to be with a vibe. Sure. Come on. Lezi ngicelela nina lezi yabe kwezenu. Amachovichovi. Nina isanda moyeni manje. Usacela banganqeni nonke nize la stage. Now can I realize. Banganqeni nje nonke nize la stage. Nonke nize la stage. What's up? Don't miss. Shut. This is the last one. Thank you. Sure. Come on. Say. Nabalaba baby. The buffer. Come on. Tight. Yaba pona lava baby man. Buffer. Come on. Just straight. Nabalaba baby man. Come on. Tight. Yaba pona lava baby man. Come on, just drink. Put your hands up. Zande moyen shonapa. Jita shonapa. Ziman. I'll tell you the ya. I'm a jovito. Ziman. Zande moyen. I'll jita shonapa. Ziman. I'll tell you the ya. I'm a jovito. Ziman. Wimdwan. I'll let you play. Empty. She's a good boy. Empty. I'll let you play. Empty. She's a good boy. I'm a Jovito, man. I'm a Jovito, man. I'm a Jovito, man. I'm a Jovito, man. Jovi. I'm a Jovito, man. Jovi. I'm a Jovito. Put your hands up. Ila, go down. Ila, upa. I'm a Jovito. I'm a Jovito. Put your hands up. Ila, shut up. Ila, I'll tell you. I'm a Jovito. Hola. Sure, say hola. Na. Good. She's a good one. You got. Out in now, see 13 fight. Say the beat with 13 fight. Say the beat with 13 fight. Go meet some 13 fight. One get 13 fight. Everybody now. Then I'm a Jovito. I'm a Jovi man. I'm a Jovito man. Jovi. I'm a Jovito man. You dance. Jovito. You dance. I'm a Jovito. You dance. I'm a Jovito. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. Ilande moye Jovito. Put your hands up. Ilande moye. Ilande man. I'll tell you. I'm a Jovito. Everybody say, Senduyahamba. Kazuzobuya nina. Sure. Sendi. Kazuzobuya nina. Kazuzobuya nina. Sure. Kazuzobuya nina. Senduyahamba. Kazuzobuya nina. Kalita, kumisa. Sendi uyahamba. Kalita, kazuzobuya nina. Unamachovicho, human. Namachovicho. Namachovicho. Amachovicho. Yeah, Namachovicho. Amachovicho. Yeah, Namachovicho. Now what call? Namachovicho. Amachovicho. Mapoyis, Namachovicho. Amapoyis, Sachovicho. Boyis, Sachovicho. Yeah, Namachovicho. Thank you very much, guys. Everyone who remained behind it, thank you so much. I know the program ran late and people had to go. Peace and love, you've been wonderful. Send me the Hizo. I'm a chavicho. I'm a chavicho.
And unifying the captains of industries who shape our future. Noma ngabe ngusomabhizinisi osafufusa noma usewungoti kulomkhakha, ungasali. Stimulating panel discussions, empowering workshops, exhibitions brimming with innovation, fashion extravaganza, and so much more. Yiba yingxenye yalomgubho wezobuciko namabhizinisi kusukela ngo-14 kuya ku-16 kuMarch 2024 at the Station Urban Event Space in Durban. Visit www.kwandefestival.co.za for free registration and unlock your full access to the festival's vibrant ecosystem. KZN Kwande Festival, well, through creativity. Clear your schedule as March is KZN Kwande Festival month. KZN Kwande